Eric is a diehard Chino Hills State Park volunteer and Hills for Everyone supporter, and he has just been dedicating, I don't, are you at least at 30 years now in terms of your conservation work as well?
It's largely been since I moved to the canyon here, so that's been
Okay.
since 2002, so 20,
Okay.
20 plus
So,
years.
yep, 20 plus years. All right. I gave you extra credit there.
I'll
Another
take it.
8 years. Yeah.
I should
It
mention I
feels.
should mention one other thing. A home across the street burned to the ground in 2008. Um, I parked at East Lake Village parking lot and walked back in 2008 and was able to put out an Italian cypress about 12 feet from our wooden uh, balcony that had gone up like a torch, as well as some other uh, uh, bushes in our yard. And our next door neighbor had seven palm trees that were not skinned, so they had the little cups, and it was catching embers from a home that was burning down on um, Via de la Roca, and all seven of those caught fire, and I couldn't reach the upper parts with my hose, and the little frond bases were flying everywhere. So, yeah, firsthand experience with fire, and I think Steve was around that day too.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
from 93 to '09, a paid call firefighter and a reserve firefighter at Station 32. So yeah, yeah, a lot of stories, especially that fire. It was just out of control.
A
So
bad weekend.
Yeah, for a lot of people. Well, so back to Eric, and then I'll pass it over to him. He is involved in a lot of hillside activities, whether it's fighting development projects or the Carbon Canyon Fire Safe Council or leading hikes in the hills. So he has extensive knowledge of the entire Puente Chino Hills Wildlife Corridor, and he is the vice president and now the treasurer of the Carbon Canyon Fire Safe Council. And that he'll go into some of the activities and whatnot, but we're kind of modeling a lot of what we're looking at doing over what they've done because they've been there, done that, and has been in existence for quite a while. So we're hoping to learn from your expertise, Eric. So I'll pass it over to you.
Cool. Well, thank you, Melanie. I just do want, Brenda, you mentioned hikes in the hills. I'll plug our hikes, our Sierra Club hikes we do once a month at different spots along the wildlife corridor. If you go to Puente Chuno Hills Task Force on Meetup, you'll see our hike schedule. We got one coming up in a couple weeks that we're just doing behind Olinda Village here in Carbon Canyon. So if you're looking for some hikes, come on out there. We have anywhere from 15 to 50 people, and it's always lots of fun.
Oh, cool. Thanks so much. I'll look into that right now.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be kind of jumping around on different things. I'm gonna share the screen here. Oh,
I mean to give you permission. Hold on. There we go. Hopefully that's a dog or a cat interrupting.
and we got Bruce here. Bruce is a fantastic resource that I hope to spend some more time with. How you doing, Bruce? All right, I'm gonna share the screen.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Great. Thank you for letting me join.
Okay, why isn't it letting me share my whole screen?
I don't know.
It's only letting me share individual apps. Let me try again.
Here, try it. I just changed a different setting. Apparently they've got new settings.
No,
Tell me if that did anything.
no. Huh. Okay, so I may have to come in and out of sharing. So,
Okay.
all right, so just a quick little PowerPoint that we. That's weird. Little PowerPoint that we have just when we're talking to different people in the community. Just a little background on the Fire Safe Council. We were formed in 2001, and it was really on, for those of you who know Carbon Canyon, there's the Brea side that comes up from Lambert, turns into Carbon Canyon Road, and you're in Brea, and then eventually you cross the county line and you go into Chino Hills. And so it was really started on the Chino Hills side in 2001. And then the freeway complex fire happened in 2008, and all of us on the rear side went, "Wah! What the heck do we do now to try and not let this happen again?" And so we talked about forming our own fire safe council. Then we realized there was one right next door. So instead of having a separate one, we joined together. So we became one canyon. Really, is really, and it's really how we look at it. We're two cities, two counties, two Caltrans districts, two fire departments, but we look at it as one canyon. So it's sometimes being double like that can make things more complicated, but it also means we have more resources to draw on, and it's definitely been a positive for us since then. And now that we have more people involved, also, and so we do try and stay busy. After the freeway complex fire, Carbon Creek burned to a crisp, which meant all the Arundo that was there burned to a crisp. So a lot of people, including Hills for Everyone, and different cities, we got some grant money to stay on top of the Arundo. And so it's still something we're battling, but it's not nearly as bad as it was that day in 2008 when it really contributed to the fire. So we've done other creek cleanup, a lot, especially on the Chino Hill side. We do twice a year brush drop off days where the waste management company will drop off a dumpster and people will come and fill it up, and we'll be out there to help them get it into the dumpster. We usually go through two dumpsters every day we do this. We're just people kind of schedule their cleanup around it and they just bring it down and dump it off into the dumpster. So that's something that's become very popular. And then our world famous trunk or treat that we do every year with our headless horsemen. And so it's become even bigger as time's gone on. I'll try and share a picture of our headless horseman here later because it's fantastic. The lady who does that with the horse. And so it's just we have 15 to 20 trunks. We have over 100 kids. We have different fire engines, and so it's a great fire safety day, but it's also a great fun day for that. So that's something we've been doing for a number of years now. And then we also do newsletters, and I'll share this a little bit more when we get into it. And same thing we do twice a year newsletters that we actually mail out with a donation envelope. So that actually helps us to recover it, and being physical also chance that people are more likely to read it. We did Carbon Canyon evacuation maps where we got this to every household, and I'll go into this a little bit later also. And a lot of this was grant funded. And so a lot of this was, what do we want to do and how are we going to do it? Where's the money going to come from? And so that kind of takes us into, let me see here. Can you guys see the web page?
Nope,
Yeah.
we're looking at your PowerPoint still.
Darn. So I have to stop sharing and go back in. Strange. All right, so let's go to that. And so actually, I don't want to go there. I'm going to go to our CWPP. And so that leads to our Community Wildfire Protection Plan, the CWPP. And this is really kind of the framework of who you are and what you want to do. And so it really allows you to be able to, what's the boundary that you're working with, which communities are involved in your area, and what are your needs, and how do you anticipate going at and attacking those needs. And so the plan itself needs to be signed by everybody. And here's where having two communities was a lot more work, because we have the mayors, the fire chiefs, before we even move it up to CAL FIRE. But it's a community overview. What are the values at risk? So it identifies the hazards within your community. And then what are you going to do about it? So the priorities and recommendations to reduce the structural and wildland ignitability, and then an action plan and assessment strategy. So it kind of, what's your community? What are the risks there? And then what are you going to do about it? So it really helps to fine tune and kind of narrow what your focus is and what it is you want to do and what it is that you feel is important. It's also pretty much a requirement if you're going to be asking for grants. They will want to know that you have an approved and signed CWPP up in Sacramento, and that will make it easier for you to get grants. So that really is a first step. And I believe that Melanie, you've already kind of started that. And so that really is a key piece. and it's something you have to update every 5 years. And so now it's just kind of where you're at today may not be where you're at 5 years from now. So it is an evolving document, but a very, very, very important one. So that's really where you start. And for us, we did many things, but really our most important job we have is education, getting information out to the community. And that's where we do a lot of this through our webpage. We did a wildfire home safety presentation
into
about
this mission of really trying to discover
about a
what we
year
can do as
ago, where came in and did this wonderful presentation on the risk and what you can do about it from a home hardening standpoint. This is on YouTube. Feel free to use it as much as you want. It's really a great presentation. And if you want to see burning junipers, they talk about junipers and the
on the right
the,
here, this
the
juniper
issues with junipers and how dangerous they are, and watching them burn.
Yeah.
And so it's really a fantastic presentation. And you might also consider in the future, this was done by Allied Disaster Defense and Rich Snyder. I know he's done different presentations around. I'm sure if you asked, he would come and do a presentation for you guys. There's a lot of questions at the end of this video where we had a chance to ask him questions. And so if you guys had that same opportunity, it would be great for the community. But it's a lot of, it's really, really good information. We also did a insurance workshop for the community, which of course is what people are really concerned about. That's the hook these days, is we will help you keep your insurance. We can't guarantee it. You'll probably pay more, but being part of a community that has a fire safe council, you'll want to look into being a FireWise community, and there's a process you have to go through for that. That will help people keep their insurance. And that is, frankly, if you're looking to how do we get people interested in this and involved in this, hit them with this. This is about your insurance. There's a good presentation here about the various different issues with insurance, and that's on our webpage also. Again, feel free to steal any of this. And we did an interview with the firefighter as part of a newsletter we did, I think last year, where it just talks about what is a firefighter thinking about when they're driving through a wildfire? Which houses are they looking at? What are they thinking? So it's a really interesting read there. But other than that, is trying to get information out to people. We have a page with just links about home hardening, which is really what we're trying to get people to focus on these days, is how this is what people can do at their home to help save their neighborhood and not just their own home.
Good.
So,
Excellent.
yeah, and so there's a lot of good links there. As I mentioned, our semi-annual newsletters. We just try and get good information out to people. We have just a quick evacuation checklist. So it's just about getting information out to people, and we do this twice a year with the newsletter. And then this page here is current information. So a fire started, it's nearby. How nearby? Where's it coming? So we have these various different fire maps that we have on the page that will tell you where there are active fires. And so if we zoom in here, and so it's something that if there were fires going here, it would not only show where the fire started, but it would show the current perimeter of the fire. So you can see, is it moving my direction? Is it coming? So it's just about having information. And so this whole page here is just about information that day, that bad day, where you're hoping it doesn't turn into a terrible day. There's also cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
So we have the cameras that are above us here in Linda Village at the Carbon Canyon water tanks, but oops, there are also, come on, cameras at Gypsum Canyon. There are cameras and so this is a live shot from Gypsum Canyon at the moment. You can see which way it's pointing. There's canyons at the top of San Juan Hill. I remember one day there was smoke. We were smelling smoke, and I got on the cameras and I followed the cameras all the way to, I think it was Hemet.
Hmm.
Well, and I was able to on the camera see the fire that we were smelling smoke, and it was just following from camera to camera to camera um, to find out. And actually, in this particular case, I was actually able to see the fire.
Hmm.
So the cameras are a great resource just to find out kind of what's going on live. And then just social media sites for the surrounding agencies. As we know, the fire departments tend to put out information on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days. Um, and so that's another good way to kind of keep up on information. Um, as I mentioned, we have these evacuation guides, and this was grant funded to be able to do this. Um, we had to break into three guys based on the size of the canyon, but basically we have a map, and with next to that with just basic information, what you're thinking about during an evacuation. And then on the back of that is some more, what do you do before you leave? When leaving, take, just kind of quick stuff when you're kind of panicking a little bit and you're trying to do a million things at one time, you have one thing that you can go to. And it's really just something that was, we just sent these are just hard stock um, glossy hardstock that people can keep around, put on their fridge, put in their car, put in their go bag, and it's just got the map on one side. On the inside, it's got the those 5 things we were just looking at. So it's just good information because people oftentimes don't think about what's going to happen until it happens, and then panic a little bit. So if we can have, and we walked this between the council, walked this door to door, so everyone in the community had it. And then for new people to move in, it's on our webpage and they can print it out. So it's a good piece of information to have. The map is fun. Basically it's easy for us. You go this way, you go that way. That's pretty much it. But the information, especially the what do we take and what when leaving, take this, what to know for you to even know, um, like before it goes, shut off the air conditioner heater, close all doors inside the house. Um, and so just kind of basic information that people don't always think about until it's too late. And so it's just trying to get that information out there to people. Um, but really, at the end of the day, we're really it's about outreach and education. We'll do fundraising. We reach out to our 2 different city councils, and we've gotten funds from that. We've gotten funds from the California Fire Foundation. Um, I'm drawing a blank on a couple of Cal Fire. We currently have a 5-year grant where they pay for our newsletters for the next 5 years. So it's a bit of a bear to do the grant writing, especially with Cal Fire, but they got great people there that work with you, and so it's just a matter of just putting in the time, and you never know what you can get. So there's funding out there. You just need to determine what it is. What is it that we want to do and need to do to be able to say, okay, we need $10,000 to do this. How are we going to get the money? And so, but it's first determining what is it that we need? What does our community need? And then the second piece is just getting out there in the community, is getting that information out there to people, generating that information. Because I'm sure you guys know, volunteer organizations are run by small groups of people, and because it's small groups of people that make things happen. But other people are being interested. Other people need this information and will want this information. And so it's getting out there, whether it's meetings like this. We've done fire safe fairs in the past where we have different vendors come and people come and be able to get more information that way. Um, the mailers and the newsletters I mentioned, a lot of it's door to door. As mentioned with the newsletters, we handed those out door to door. We've gone door to door with a firefighter before, just trying to talk with people about the risks and what they can do about it. So a lot of it's just engaging neighbors, whether it's at HOA meetings, whether it's at parties, just that here's what's going on and here's a lot of information. And right now you're probably just scared about the unknown, but here's what you can do about it. And so it's kind of engaging people in that way. And one newer thing that this might be a bit much for you guys at this moment, but let's see, where did it go? This would be here. No, here. Let's try here. It would be, oh, I know which one. Sorry, I'm usually just able to share my screen and here. CAL FIRE is actually doing what they call a defensible space assessor class. And so this allows you, as you read here, qualified, you may perform defensible space and home hardening assessments. So it's a 2-day class to be able to do home hardening assessments for your neighbors. So it's something a few of us here in Carbon Canyon are going to do. We found that a lot of people are kind of wary of having a firefighter, anybody with a badge, come in and give them free access to their backyard. They're afraid they're going to find code violations and they need to fix this and need to fix that. So we found that people don't want to let them in. We've offered, the fire departments offered them free assessments and people just don't take them up on it. And so we're hoping when it's more of a neighbor to neighbor and I don't have the ability to write them a code violation, that they'll be more willing to and be able to have that conversation about, if you just remove this tree from right next to your house, or if you, cleaned out your roof litter, the leaf litter on your roof and in your gutters. Just sometimes it's just small things, and sometimes people get overwhelmed that I need to spend $30,000 to be able to make my house perfect. It's just starting out with the small things and working your way um, further along as you're able to. But that's a class that's coming up in April. And so if anyone's interested, I'll get this to Melanie so she can forward it, but it's basically through OCFA and CAL FIRE. And so that's really it that's what we've done. It's something that, we just keep working on it for year in, year out to make sure people are aware of it and just trying to figure out what we can do to make the community better prepared for the next fire.
Thanks, Eric. Does anyone have any questions on things? Covered a lot of ground there.
I just like to say one thing. Wow, that's impressive. You guys are light years ahead of a lot of communities.
Really? Okay, that's good to hear.
Well done.
Eric, how many acres does your CWPP cover?
Let's see.
While he's looking, it's a big undertaking that Eric actually undertook. You have to contact all the homeowners, and folks like Southern California Gas and Edison and all the phone service people to get them to review it. And but once it's done, then it needs updating, which, like you said, every 5 years. But it's not quite as big a task at that point. But a lot of things have changed, like in the last 5 years. Now we have public safety power shutoffs, PSPS. And so communication is harder. And maybe the pumping stations taking the water from the bottom of the canyon to the reservoirs don't work when the power shut off like that. So that's why it needs to be updated regularly, because circumstances change.
Oh, I don't have the acreage in here. I got a cool map.
I want to say that it was 3,000 acres. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, it's definitely in that ballpark. Huh?
And could you explain the difference between FireWise and FireSafe communities? FireWise is the one that gets us our discount, right?
Right. And so let me pull this up here. Web page. This. There is the California Fire Safe Council, which is here. And there's a lot of great resources there. And basically, when you set yourself up, you'll kind of register with them, and that's who you'll send your CWPP to. And then separately from that, there is the Firewise community, and that's a different organization. It's a private organization, I believe, National Firewise USA, Firewise USA. Um, and so it's something that basically get a certification that you've done certain things. You have to have a public event. You have to be meeting so often. So there's a list of things that's not really hard to do. It's frankly it's hard. It almost feels like it's harder to get the certificate out of them at the end of the year than to do the work. But it's something that you can take this certificate to your insurance company, and
Yeah.
they will give you a small discount. This will also help you if they're thinking about canceling you, that, oh, you're in a Firewise community. And I believe that they're not, yeah, I don't want to speak out of turn because there's a whole bunch of different things as far as if you're in a high fire hazard zone, and you're a Firewise community, that there's different, they may be able to just cancel you. But I can't say that for sure.
I
So,
do believe they're required to give you a discount at least.
right. And it's a small discount. It's a couple of percent,
Right.
but it's like I said, especially for those that are where they're considering being canceled, it'll help you keep your insurance.
And do you have to get that certificate renewed every year? You have to prove you've done the outreach, you've done the event.
Yep.
That's what our Sleepy Hollow Halloween event is.
Yep.
Great. Any other questions for Eric?
Very impressive, that's for sure.
We got a good group, and that's what it takes, is just having, if you have people that want to do good things, they will. And so, and we're not a big group, but we're a good group.
So don't be intimidated by our small numbers. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Because that's, it's like I said, the hardest part is, I think, is what is it that we want to do?
Yeah.
And what is it that we're able to do? And it kind of helps to focus the mind a little bit on, all these things versus, okay, no, there's these three things that are very important to us in our community, so we're going to start with those. Or maybe it's one thing, but it's definitely don't want to start with 10 things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent. Anyone else?
No.
No?
Well, I would just like to say that this Fire Safe Council for Yorba Linda gets a head start to the extent that these new houses that are going in, excuse me, got the hiccups, are going in built to the highest standards for fire safety. So you don't have retro work like the rest of our community has. So.
Well,
Yeah.
and those houses are paying for the startup of this,
Right.
this Fire Safe Council. So we have a built-in funding source for the first 10 years anyways.
Yeah, do we know how much of our activities their funding actually covers, or do we have to determine still exactly what we plan to do?
Yeah, we're gonna need to decide what we want to do, but it's $13 a month a house.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so it ends up being, I don't know what the budget is for Carbon Canyon Fire Safe Council, but I think they've got 72 houses or 73. So it's probably a little over $11,000 a year.
Okay. Yeah, because we have about 3,000 houses. Our biggest expense is the newsletter, which is about twice a year. It's about $7,000 total. And our kind of our basic expenses, our insurance and PO box and bank account comes to about $3,000. So we're on a basically we spend less than $10,000 a year. And part of that, like I mentioned, is the newsletters are funded, at least for the time being, from this grant. So it doesn't take a whole lot of money, although it's painful to write checks for, $1,100, $2,000 for insurance.
Yep, I bet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Eric, you are welcome to stay on and listen, or you can leave. It doesn't matter either way to us, but we're going to chat about kind of the next steps in our process.
Thank you, Eric. That was awesome.
I can help.
I like Eric's emphasis on concrete accomplishments, newsletters, contacts, and not just talking about it.
Action.
Action, exactly. That's what makes things go. All right, guys, I'm going to drop off, but please, if there's anything else I can do in the future, please let me know.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Good job.